Hey guys, it's Dean here with an update video, and we're going to be talking about what I've been showing in the previous videos, and I'm going to be 3D printing a full Stormbreaker, and I've already printed all the pieces, so let's look down here at this table and start talking about what's going on and why it's taking so long to get this video out. Alright, so the pieces we see here, we have the handle, we have the blade, the hammer part, the end piece that's going to go on there, and the wood that goes up and the wood that goes on top. All these are printed, but as you can see with these test pieces and with the handle, there's a bunch of gaps, and I'm going to explain that in a little bit. Like, look up close to this one. It took a really long time. It's a really long print, but there's a bunch of spots in it that just have gaps missing, and it's just one of the things that I've been trying to deal with. And the reason that it's like that is because I have a new printer, because my other one stopped working. And this printer was supposed to get everything working and all that stuff and be the reliability that I was dealing with. And with my old printer, I was able to print a couple of these pieces, and then it started messing up. So then I started with the new printer, and it started giving me errors. I have most of it figured out. As you can see with this is my most recent print. It's something I just modeled. You can see there's still a little bit of artifacts on these two layer lines where it's a little squished. I had some problems with the rollers being too tight on the Z-axis, but with this print, it looks like most of that is gone with what I've fixed. And let's look at the printer itself and some of the prints that I did the test with. So the printer I got is a Sidewinder X1, and you can see I have some tape on it. Here are some of the prints that I was testing with. Don't mind the mess. This is just my basement, and I didn't organize any of this stuff. So it started off with a bunch of gaps and squishiness, and nothing ever really attached where those gaps were. It always just broke easily. And then slowly and surely I started to dial it in. I got it close, so where it was like getting almost no gaps. So then I tested out that bigger print that you saw. That was the first thing I had to deal with after I got the printer working. The other thing is that this printer was coming from China, even though it said it was coming from a US warehouse. It took a really long time. It took like a month for me to actually get the printer. And then I had to fix it after it just didn't work when I initially got it. I had to do a couple mechanical tweaks and all that stuff. Now, after all this and printing all that out, next prints I do should be pretty good. And I went through a bunch of spools. These are all pretty much empty spools. So let's get on to just explaining what I'm going to be doing with the Stormbreaker and all that stuff. Alright, so as far as this Stormbreaker goes, I'm going to do all the finishing on this, fill in all these gaps, which is going to take a long time, do sanding, painting, and make it so it's going to be a video series just like my other Stormbreaker, and that's going to start off another series of you get to guess what the next cosplay is that I'm doing. I know it's a lot later into the year that I usually do it, but I'm starting a new cosplay, and this should be the clue for what I'm doing if you haven't guessed yet, because someone in some movie, I don't know what movie, uses this, and I'm going to be doing that as my next cosplay. Alright? The files for this, actually, this is designed by my friend in Spain. He did all the stuff. His links are right here. You see his name and all that stuff. He did one version that was a cheaper one. He did an HD version, which is this one, which has all these details, which are sadly wasted by some of the errors on my printer, but we're going to get through that and make it look good. You can tell with this piece how much detail there really is on the wood. As you can see, there's lots of detail after I put on all the primer, so even that comes through after doing my standard polishing and all that stuff. So that is great detail I'll be able to show. So with all this stuff and all his files, I'm going to link all of that in the description below. But something that's really cool is he's working on right now is a smoke and LED light up version of this. So it's going to have smoke coming from all these places and lights integrated into it. So that way you can download those files also. Another cool thing is he also made a handle that was designed with the intention of what if Stormbreaker was made with the correct handle and Groot wasn't there. Spoilers. Groot wasn't there to put his hand out and sacrifice his arm for this. So he even designed a free handle that was the version that you would just use if you were making the hammer yourself. Yeah, so all of Henry's stuff is down in the description. I'm linking all that. He designs a whole bunch of things. Everything is Marvel related that I look at, but he also does other stuff, and he's just a great artist. You should look into his stuff. You should buy it. I bought this from him, and I'm promoting it because I think he does really good stuff. He also does really good Thor cosplay, which is similar to the one I did, and we both found each other on Instagram and found out that we really like attention to detail. So if you want someone who is really detail-oriented in the same way that I was when I did my Thor, maybe even more so because he had electronics to his, then look and check him out. And we are going to have a video series on this. So if you look over here, you will see some videos of me making some stuff, doing parkour, or maybe making Thor also, or anything else over there. You can see my links over here. There's subscribe and Patreon. I'll talk about Patreon in my next videos. And we will see you in the next video.